Hey everyone, today's episode is brought to you by our incredible sponsors that help make this show happen.
The Outdoor Podcast is proudly brought to you by XOP Outdoors, Carbon Express, Block Targets, Moultrie, Gas Bowstrings, and Burris Optics. Produced by BowHunterPlanet. We thank you for tuning in and being a part of our outdoor heritage.
Grab your favorite bow, your pack, your chair, and let's get started.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Outdoor Podcast. Myself, Dave Thompson, along with Jamie stepping in tonight.
I'm back.
I haven't seen you in a while. You all right?
Yeah, well, a little busy, but yeah.
Nice job on the video the other day, by the way.
Thanks.
People did like your comments. I was
there.
Surprised.
We go. For
it was
once,
something about PSE. I thought.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But I just
probably about
since we got Tom on from PSE,
probably about me slapping the trigger. That's what I usually do.
So, Tom, welcome to the show, my friend. PSE, the new guy getting it done over there. Super excited to talk to you. I know we've talked obviously offline before the show, so I learned a lot about PSE from you, but I thought it was very important that we kind of brought this to the show and let people get to know you from your perspective on, you know, everything we need to know about you and what we're going to do here with PSE coming up. This is very exciting news and good to have you here.
Yeah,
Welcome.
I appreciate it. It's great to be. I was excited to talk to you the first time. More excited now to get on the podcast with you and answer some of the questions, let the people know who I am and what I'm about.
Yeah,
I'll try to keep
do.
it like we talked a little bit earlier. You know, in our last podcast took about an hour and a half, so I'll try to keep my mouth a little bit close at that. Try to keep it summarized a little bit better for you.
No problem. So yeah, tell us about you, Tom. Tell us what you're all about here.
Yeah, not really excited. It's not too exciting, but I mean, I have a pretty cool story. Born and raised in Colorado, started hunting at a very young age. My dad bought me a shotgun when I was like 7 years old to start hunting. At 7, I was, really small kid at that time, and I shot that 20 gauge shotgun and I put it away until I was about 10 or 12 years old because it kicked me on my butt. So, my dad was from northern Minnesota. So on a farm, hunting and fishing was his life. And it was just part of how he raised me. And I can't be more thankful because it's really been one of the biggest parts of my life. No matter where I've been in my career, my life, I've always made the time to make sure that I get outdoors and go hunting. And I really put that back to the way my dad raised me and showed me the importance of being outdoors. So it's really just that passion of mine, just continue to get outdoors. And it's, we talk about hunting and et cetera. It's not always about the kill. Of course, that's the exciting part of it, but it's just getting out there and being in the wilderness, being in the Rocky Mountains, being in a tree stand in the Midwest or in the Southeast. It's incredible. And I enjoy every bit of it. My career's kind of, I got out of high school, wasn't the best high school student in the world, wasn't ready for college, and I actually wanted to pay for college on my own. So I joined the Marine Corps. I spent 4 years in the Marines. And then when I got out, I actually I met my wife at the time. She was my girlfriend, and decided to stay in California where she was at because I was stationed at 29 Palms. And I got hooked up with a manufacturing business at that time. And still being in California, I was going back every year to go elk hunting with my dad and all my friends and stuff. So, but, I started on the floor in manufacturing. I was pulling parts and stocking parts, counting parts, etc. And, I decided, hey, I want to move in my career, and I continued to grow. So I stayed with the company for about 22 years in total, called Ingersoll Rand. And out of that, I spent about four different businesses that I ran. The most impactful one when it comes to the outdoors was I became a plant manager of a business called LCN that's in Princeton, Illinois, which is in kind of the middle of Illinois overall. And that's when I got there, I thought, I'm from Colorado, the mountain hunter, I know what I'm doing. I talked with guys from the Midwest, and they're like, hey, you can bow hunt for 4 months, right? The season's that long. I was like, excuse me? Because I used to rifle hunt. I'm like, I can bow hunt for 4 months, so I got hooked up. And that's where I bought my first PSE. Ordered one from Cabela's, the Super G. I actually have it.
There you go.
Right here. I brought it in. So
wow,
cool. Just my old school original PSE that I've been shooting forever. And I love it. and just absolutely fell in love with the whole aspect of being in a tree stand and being in the Midwest and whitetail hunting.
Yeah.
So that's, growing up elk hunting and mule deer hunting was great, but I'll tell you what, I don't find anything better than sitting in a tree, getting there early, before the sun comes up and watching everything kind of wake up. So that's where my passion really around archery started. And that was back in 2005. But my career progressed, did a lot of different things in manufacturing, led a few businesses, was a general manager. My last role was a VP of operations over 5 different sites across the United States. And then I got a call from a recruiter, and it's just, in some ways it's blessed, or it's just fate, right? That I get a call from a recruiter, and he's wanted to hear my story. So I started talking about my interests, and of course, hunting comes up, and I also have a Harley. I love riding. That's my other passion. And he's like, wow, I got this great opportunity, and it sounds like you'd be a great fit. So I went through the whole process with the recruiter, with the folks at Heritage, did a big presentation, went through a lot of data, and I just got lucky to be a part of this great business. And it's one of those, I've had a very, I would say, not long, but I mean, it's been 30 years being in manufacturing and business overall. But to get into the outdoor industry, what I'm really, really passionate about, and building a product that I absolutely love, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Right.
You really can't. And I can't be more excited about what's going on at PSE, that I'm a part of it. It's kind of like, pinch me. Am I really doing this, right? Is this really who I am? And am I really a part of something like this? And the other benefit of this is I get to meet incredible people like you guys. Been on the road for the past couple of weeks at different dealers, doing demo days, meeting end users, meeting the dealers themselves, and just having an incredible time doing it, and just sharing my passion around, not just the product, not just the brand, but the overall outdoors. And you get to talk to folks about their experiences. So it's been pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's it's interesting when you talk about growing up, and I was thinking about why you're saying that. I was like, yeah, what? Because I always think about like our team, and like me and Jamie are like very opposite of how we grew up hunting. Like I grew up in the urban city, and he actually grew up in the country. So it's actually funny because we actually have complete opposite ways we were raised. Like I went to state land, he walked out his back door and hunted. Like there's like this huge difference. But the cool part is, getting to know like him and us getting to know each other in the team here, we all have different experiences. And it's really cool to bring that together into something like that. And I remember, when you were saying about getting into it and all that, it's like, it's funny how it always sticks with you. And that's what I was going to say. Yep. Like, even if you like took a job doing something else, you always have that passion to get outside and experience the great outdoors, experience Mother Nature. Right. Yep. And it's hard to get away from that. And so when an opportunity comes up like this for you, it must have been an absolutely amazing thing for you.
It's like winning the lottery. It really is. It's just incredible. I had a short stint where I ran Ranger Boats. Ranger Boats is owned by Bass Pro. So that was a fantastic experience as well. And I'm like, hey, I finally, found what I needed, my niche. I love fishing, but I love hunting more. So I think it was just that step into it, saying, okay, we got something better in your life later on that's going to come your way. And it just happened to be PSE.
Yeah. What's the average Ranger boat cost?
A
lot more than this.
At least 100,000.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
But what an incredible experience. I mean, that's another great brand. Right. It's kind of the same story, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You have a founder that builds a business over 50 years, and, they retire, they get out of it, they sell it. And, you got a new company that's got to take the reins and take it to another level. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the same thing that we're doing with PSE.
Yeah. Similar here. I was just going to say that. It's a totally different. So take us through, I guess. So my next question is, how do you plan to change the brand? But when I say that, I mean, so when you come into this, you have a lot on your plate, right? You have, not only do you have marketing, you got purchasing, you got logistics, you got the dealer network, the sales network. There's a lot to it. So I guess tell us kind of like your thoughts so far and how you're thinking you're going to change this brand or get it moving.
Yeah. So, coming into it, and especially with the data and all the information they fed me during my interview, right? So they didn't hold back and said, okay, what would you do? here's all the information. And I was able to put this presentation together, but just taking all that information gives you a really good picture without even seeing the business, right, overall. The thing that was noticed is that, there's this thing that we call, going an inch wide or inch wide, mile deep, right? And a lot of businesses that are extremely successful do that. They pinpoint on one thing and they get absolutely incredible at it. And they just do it over and over, repetitive, and they're just going to be the best in the industry at that one thing or two things, right? But they're not overburdened through everything that they're trying to do. And what I noticed about PSC, just based off the data, and then it was all kind of solidified when I came here, is that we went a mile wide and an inch deep. And we took the brand that has been known for, its performance, its stability, the technology that the brand was really built upon, kind of get diminished. The brand PSE got diminished when we started going into box stores, started expanding on a bunch of other different products, and it really kind of diminished the brand, and it just made too big of a scope. Did it do great things at the time? Yeah, I think they had some good ups and downs with it, but it was just too big, too much, and such a, I would say, cyclical type business that we're in, right, in the industry that we're in. So, when Heritage bought it, they came in, they noticed that, right? It's just way too much going on. The brand has been diminished, and we want to basically shrink it back down to its core and then rebuild it. And that's how we're looking at it. It's saying, okay, they built this incredible platform for me to come in. And now it's all about how do we reestablish the PSE name, what it's always been known for, right? And it's known for that technology. It's known for the performance. It's known for putting things on the ground and winning tournaments, man. And that's what we want. I want to make sure that PSE is not seen as, hey, that's a cheap bow that I could, just pick up somewhere. It's my first bow, but then I graduate to bigger bow. I want people to graduate to PSE. I want PSE to be the brand that everybody's looking up to, and not, it's the brand that does everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at.
It's interesting because so years ago, like right when we started BowHunterPlanet, so 2009, so 2007, I had purchased from Gander Mountain. I remember this, a Diamond Lightning. Okay. And this is before it was owned by the newer company, but like I was missing deer after deer with this bow. And I'll never forget it because it was the most lull I've ever had in hunting. And I missed like literally 4 deer in a row with this bow. It kept jumping. Like it was so strange. And I went to Bass Pro Shop, and I remember it was 2009, the summer of 2009. I went there, and they had a PSE Bow Madness XS, and it was like $600 something, full package, ready to roll. And I was like, I'm gonna buy it, So I bought it, and I swear to you, I shot like 3 deer in a row with that bow. It was so awesome, that bow. And I'll never forget it because it just made me feel really like warm and fuzzies about PSE, because I felt like what PSE did for me in that moment was so important, because I had lost all of my confidence. And I thought, man, I need some way to get back in this, or I might just quit hunting. Like, honestly, at the time, I wasn't even sure how I felt. But that bow really saved me, and I wish I still had it. Honestly, I wish I just for showpiece, the bow that changed my life.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's PSE. That's what we want, right? We want to build a system and a platform that allows any hunter to be able to utilize it, right? We don't want the system to be the problem, right? We want the technical aspect of something that you can learn or be trained on. If the system's the problem, it doesn't matter how good your hold is, no how your draw is, how stable you are. So we want to eliminate that, right? And that's through the technology that PSE's always given.
Yeah. Well, Tom, what would you say, to this point? I know it's very early for you, but, what are you most proud of so far with PSE, from what you've seen or what you're feeling? Like, I guess, what strikes you as something that's, really making you proud about the brand?
It's the folks here at the site, and it's the reps out in the field. This business has been through some ups and downs, but the passion and the commitment that these folks have, the team here, is by far one of the best I've ever seen. And I've led a lot of different businesses in a lot of different cultures, a lot of different states. And one of the biggest challenges people have is, having the tenure of folks in businesses. Typically in any manufacturing business, if you have 3 to 5 years of seniority, that's pretty common now, right? You don't have the guys that are sticking around for 30, 20, 30, 40 years. They're moving on and doing other things. Mm-hmm. Our average seniority here is 10 years, and that's unheard of because the people here absolutely love the product. They love the brand. They love what they do. They're, majority of my hunters are their target shooters. I can't be more proud of having a team that has already built that brand. I mean, they tattooed it onto their heart basically, and they're willing to do anything to change the business to make sure that it survives and it thrives. So that's what I would say I'm most proud about, is just being able to come. It's pride, but it's also luck, right? I could teach people a lot of different things. I could teach them skill sets. I could teach them process. I could teach them business, but I can't teach that passion, right? That's something that's built just like hunting. It's ingrained in you and you drive it. And I'm super lucky to have that here, but I'm incredibly proud of the team for having some crazy bald guy come in here and say, hey, let's do something
Join
different,
the club.
right? Yeah, I'm not wearing my hat. So, just to do something different because, I have a 30 years of this background of taking businesses, looking at them differently and improving them. Yeah. To where they because if you're not changing as a business, if you're not trying to improve, you're going to die sooner or later, right? It's inevitable for a business. So the willingness to try different things and to be excited when it does work, or even if it doesn't, to learn from it and say, hey, let's adjust it and let's go this way with it. That's what I'm most proud of.
I thought I heard you say on the PSE podcast, I did watch that episode, and I thought you said something about you guys shoot like every morning or something, like a competition. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I feel
horrible because I've missed it. I've been on the road, and then now I'm just trying to catch up. But yeah, there's a group of us that at 9:30, a few folks from the floor, a few from the office. We have a 30-yard range just outside my office, which is awesome, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
But, we go out and there's one guy that's an artist. He'll draw silly things. He'll draw a deer and we'll have a target on there. It's a small target. And it's 3 rounds of 3 shots and you get scored on if you hit within the circle, right? If you hit in the circle, it's 12 points. Outside of it's 10, then 8, and then it's 5. If you miss the deer or the figure totally, it's 0. And then we'll track it. We'll put it on a board, and whoever has the best score at the end of the week, it's like, hey, good job, right? But it's just everyone gets engaged in it. It's a lot of fun for us, and it's a good break.
This isn't a stick. It's a climbing tool. Purpose-built, field-proven, ridiculously capable. Meet Hydro, the new standard in micro-light climbing performance. Engineered for hunters who climb smarter, faster, and farther, Hydro is equipped with the XR2 rope system, a lightning-fast, rock-solid attachment that thrives in both traditional and technical climbing setups. The wide V bracket, paired with Axis teeth, locks into any tree type with total confidence, minimizing kick-out, maximizing control. Fast up, solid down, no wasted energy. Built from our proprietary i7 alloy, Hydro delivers insane strength with minimal weight. An ergonomic handle gives you more comfort on long ascents, and integrated attachment points let you customize with aiders to match your climb style. Each Hydro comes standard with the Reactor 3-step aider, ready to run straight out of the box. Minimal, modular, mission ready. Whether it's the first stick on the tree or the last one down, Hydro is built to perform.
I guess we're at the part of the show where we're going to talk new product here. So I guess take us through where we're at, like what bows you guys have launched this far. I don't know if there'll be more, maybe not, maybe, but like at least what's been launched and what kind of direction we're headed here with these. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah,
here
absolutely. I mean, I would say the biggest thing that has been launched this year is the FDS cam. So yeah, the FDS cam, which is now with the Mach 33, the Mach 30, we put the new cam on it. The new product that we have is our new performance speed bow, which is the Sicario with the FDS cam. We've also launched what's called the Brute Force, and that's more of a price point bow, but it has all the adjustability of the higher end bows. It has the EZ2 system. It's got the EC cam on it. Just a fantastic bow for people within that price point. But I would say that I'm most excited about the Sicario, right? Anytime you have a speed bow, right, that looks as aggressive as it is, and you take the technology and you take what the engineers did with the FDS cam, the limb pocket angle, the riser, and build something that has an IBO, to 357 feet per second, and it has a brace height of 5.25, but it's almost as smooth as shooting our standard Mach 33 with the EC2 cam. It's something that is not heard of in the industry. Anytime you have speed, you're usually giving something up, right? And with the Sicario, you're not giving it up. You're getting the performance out of it. And you're getting that feel out of it. So, those are the main items we have. We are launching a new target bow as well that's coming out. So Laser X, it's more of a price point starter target bow. So pretty excited about that. But we're looking forward. We're already starting to plan for 26 and 27 as well, which is great. But I would say, again, like I said, the Sicario is probably the most exciting thing that we got that has come out.
I think, when we talk about that bow, it's obviously a sweet bow. I mean, it's a powerhouse. We're watching the video right now on it while we're talking to you. But, another bow I was really excited about that you guys launched was the 30, the Mach 30. And I now with the new cam is super exciting. And the reason I feel that way is being a Michigan bow hunter in a tree stand. I just feel like the 30 is like, man, that's where it's at with the size. Like you're going to be able to like easily maneuver that bow into the weirdest positions, based on climbing trees and ground blinds. We use a lot of ground blinds here too. But yeah, I mean, that new cam looks phenomenal. Now I'm assuming the 30's slower than that Sicario, right? Sicario's the fast one.
Yeah, it's 15 feet per second slower, I believe is what it was. But it is, the 30 with the FDS cam on it is 8 to 10 feet 8 to 10 feet per second faster than with the EC2 cam on it.
The original one.
So you're getting additional performance out of that bow, but you got a smoother draw cycle as well with that new cam.
Yeah, because you guys have a decent amount of the carbon bows. Really, you have 4.
Yep. The Sicario, the 33, the 30, the 35.
5. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then tell us a little bit about the Stinger ATX.
Yeah, the Stinger has been around forever. So that is one of our more price point starter bows that's been out there for a long time. Something that we're looking at doing a redux on here in the future, but nothing's really changed with that. But it's a really good starter bow for anyone that is getting into archery.
What kind of price point is this bow?
I believe that's in the $400 price point.
This is
and it has.
I always like to look at the middle ground.
Yeah. I got you.
BowHunterPlanet's been always known to be the amateur of the industry. We try to get it to where the people who are newbies in the industry or want to learn. People shooting bows want to learn. I always want to have an option for them that's low cost. Like, hey, try this, and try, if you want to try a PSE, try the Stinger, right? And then if you like it, then the Sicario is an option, right? Then the Mach 30 is an option, right? So I think it's one of those things where you just want to have people give it a chance, and that's, in my mind, where it's at.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. And that's we launched the Brute Force this year as well, and that's at $849 price point. And that's the price point bow, but with all the adjustability to it, the EZ2 tuning system. It's got the EC cam on it, so it's got some higher end
features,
technology features on it. but at a very reasonable starter price for folks to get into. I'm pretty excited about that bow. It's in a price point we haven't played really well in lately, but it's also one that if you go look at competitor price bows in that range, you don't have, that cam. That EC cam has been around for a while, but it's one of the best cams that's been in the industry for a while too.
Yeah, and then tell us a little bit about the Decree.
Oh, yeah, the Decree's been around I'm sorry, yeah, that's another one that's coming out with the FDS cam, so we're launching that as well. The Decree is another one. It's more at that, $1,200 to $1,300 price point.
Yeah, what's that?
We have a PSE over here. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Let me see that.
Did you not get the bows?
Not yet. No. But I did find this one we had in our inventory.
Oh,
Fortis. This is the Fortis. This was a couple years back, probably.
Yeah, that was a few years back.
The aluminum, model Fortis 30. So that's looks like at the time like a Sica camo or Verde or something. But it does have the EC2 cam. I just noticed on that one. Oh, Kevin, can you give me that bow up there? That PSE right there? No, they didn't get here yet. I figured they're probably still trying to get them out the door.
I'll have to follow. No, they were shipped last week. So,
really? Yeah, let me know.
They were shipped a day or two after you and I talked.
Oh, look at this one. Oh,
yeah. Now we're talking.
So this one's the Firefly
right there.
Express. Now, you guys don't have this camo anymore, but I wish. This is sick. Look at this system. See, you guys need to bring back this old tech. What the heck is that?
Tech. Wow. I don't even think I've even seen that.
So, I was going to tell you, Tom, one of the cool things you could do is just for fun, is take your guys' time reclaiming these bows, right? Getting them back to your shop there to hang them on the walls. So you guys have the history. You might already have them all, I don't know, but I think it'd be cool to have a wall of history, just with all the models from each year, because that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
We have this and we got that.
We
Tasman.
have some, but we don't have them all.
Yeah, and we got that one I showed you the other day, that Tasman over there with the weird handle.
I don't, a lot of people, especially people that are coming into the industry, they don't, the brand, where it has been, where it's going, don't realize that it's been around since 1970. It's been around since the first compound bow, right? And a lot of the technologies that you're seeing today was developed by PSE. There's stuff that's coming out now that we did 5-10 years ago, right? And it's something new. So it's a brand that's been here for a long time. And again, I think it's been up through some ups and downs. And I really am focused on making sure that this brand is at that level that people are like, hey, you got choices. There's, these three, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I'd rather it be, hey, there's just the one choice that everyone will go to. But my main thing is, how do we grow the industry? How do we grow getting people outdoors? And that's a big challenge, right? Because we see licenses and people interest continue to decrease year after year. And that scares me, right? It's not just from an archery perspective, but it's a conservation perspective and what that's doing, the impact that it could have.
I personally think, and I know this happens a little bit, and I'm sure as time goes on, you'll be pulled into some circles of, the higher level of the industry at some point where you'll get to meet maybe the other CEOs or presidents. But I feel like, and I could be wrong, if there isn't a fund that's used to help politically fix these issues, then there should be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So PSE, along with the other bow manufacturers, probably should be communicating in some sort of format. I don't know what format, but hey, how do we save this industry? And, is there a group we can all, donate to so we can use that money to, leverage, the industry and try to fix these issues? Like we're seeing in Michigan, a cost increase on our licenses. The problem is, and I think I don't like to get into politics very often, but like the problem is instead of look at what we can reduce, it's always just let's spend more, right? And that's where I have an issue. It's like, wait a minute, well, do we need all these programs, and why are we testing all these CWD deer, or do we still need that? I mean, it's less than 1%, so why are we spending 17, 18, 20 million a year to test them, right? I'm just saying, like, there's other ways to shift that money without having just keep adding and adding and adding. You know, it's like at some point, you know, you're just going to keep pushing people away. And I saw another article that said Michigan's, I always see the Michigan stuff because we're in Michigan, but I saw another article that said they've lost 220,000 hunters since 1980 or something.
No, we're kind of a mess, and it's hard to even get the kids. I mean, I got 1 out of 2 kids into it. The other one wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling him out of school for opening day.
Yeah.
Because he deserves to see what opening day is like, and that'll hopefully keep him going with it.
Yeah, the kids don't follow it. It's funny because we're all the same age. We all have kids the same age. Yep. Only one of them has shown really any major interest in doing anything like we're doing right now. That's the problem. Yeah. So like we all thought like, we got six boys,
studio full
they
of
could take
bows
over
and
this
toys.
awesome and get young kids in here. Instead, us ball guys got to keep doing this because these kids don't want to.
They did like camp though, but I think that was more for
they like the hunt camp,
staying
but
up
the
late.
snacks. And all that stuff. But that was years ago.
That's a super interesting point because I have two boys, one that's 30, the other one's 23, almost 24. Actually, this weekend. And my oldest I took him out in Illinois. Took him out. He loves the outdoors. He loves loves camping. He loves being out there, but his interest was never really got very heavily interested into hunting. So he came with me. We went out for a short, 3 or 4 day with a couple of my buddies in Colorado. Got him a bow, got him hooked up, and he called me after that and said, "Dad, I don't know what my problem was, but that was one of the best times I've ever had. I don't know why I didn't do it before." Right? So he's hooked, right? And he's sending me pictures at the range shooting his bow. And my youngest, he plays D2 college football, and he's been in football for a long time. So it's always during the season, and he wants to go. So any chance I can get him out, we had half a day. We went out in Colorado. And,
that's cool.
Did what we could, but then he had to get back to school to get to football. So it is, you're not seeing as many kids as ingrained as us older bald guys, how we were raised with it. And to your point, I was raised in the suburbs of Denver, right? Littleton, Colorado. But because my dad was so ingrained in it and he was raised with it and that was part of their life, he wanted me to have that, to continue it, to really have some understanding and respect for the outdoors, but also to gain that skill set. I think I just don't understand. Well, I do. I mean, there's just a change in that, right? You don't have as many, the dads coming from farms or having to live that way, to where we're more spoiled now. Our kids are much more spoiled than what they were. Yeah. And what I mean by spoiled is, they're not up at 5 a.m, working on the farm. Some are. I'm not saying none of them aren't, but there's a majority that aren't, right?
Yeah, there's something to be said there. I think, I look back on, the 90s when I was kind of raised in the bow hunting lifestyle. For me, it was always like just exciting and fun. Like we went outside and we shot bows for hours. And my brother, and I gotta actually get my brother on this show and talk about these so I don't forget all these memories. But he was always older than me, like 10 years older, but him and his buddies would always come over to shoot their bows. And like, it was because we had a big yard, like an acre in the city, which is weird, but it's just what it is. And, we shoot bows like all day. It was so much fun. And then when I got to my teens, I only met a couple of people that actually hunted. It was, growing up in the city, it was very limited, but maybe there's like 4 or 5 guys who all work for BHP right now, by the way, because there wasn't that many. So it's like I pulled them all in early on from high school, right? Yeah. And anyway, so we used to set up. It was so much fun. We'd set up tree stands and we'd practice angles and moving. We built a cart with wheels like we did last year. That's where I got the idea. We put a 3D target on it, and we put these big stakes in the ground and took the rope system around it. So when you pulled it, you were safely behind the archer, but you could pull it and the thing would move like this. And so we would take shots. It was so much fun, man. I look back and think, man, I wish kids nowadays can't do that. My kids can't do that. Your kids can't do that. No. There's nowhere to do it, unless you go to your dad's, but that's like hours away, it's not, but it was just don't have
that space like we did, I guess, or it's just, again, that's a huge passion right now. Is how do we get the kids into it, right? I think target archery is a great way to do that, right? Because it's something that the kids can actually get interested in, and you could set up some, there's so many clubs out there. I just don't think it's published enough, right? That the kids can have this other outlet or this other sport that they can go do, And it's something that I think it would be a great start for kids to get into the industry, at least starting to pull back on a bow, just have that competition. And then it could lead into the hunting side of things. But the more we get into that competition and show that, hey, there's another option for, kids that don't want to play football or don't want to play, any of the other sports, and they're more interested in, individual competitiveness. How do we grow that? How do we get more people aware of it? Because it's really not that big it's not as big as it should be in the U.S. at least. You go to Europe, I mean, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's absolutely huge.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where, again, like we talked about earlier, that fund of money, that pool of money to get archery in schools, I think is the really big one. Because if you can, like I don't think I had it in high school, but when I went to college, archery was an option. I took it, of course, because I was like, oh, I shoot bows. That's easy. I might as well take it's an easy credit, right? So I took it, and it was fun. And all the people in there never shot a bow. It was pretty funny, actually. I was like, really? So, yeah, but I think archery in schools is huge, and I don't think we have that here.
No, we have trap, believe it or not. I couldn't believe
we have trap.
Travis,
that's
trap.
Interesting. That's still cool. At least they have that. I didn't know that, but
I mean, it's even they opened up archery.
In the fishing industry, you talk about there's high school fishing teams now, right? Bass fishing teams, there's collegiate teams, but you just don't see that as prevalent in the shooting sports. Let's just put it that way, right?
Interesting enough, our neighbor, the son, he went to Penn State. And Penn State, what's it called, Kevin? Penn State's he's in a fraternity that's a hunting, fishing fraternity.
Nice.
And it's crazy. Like, that's all like on the weekends, they go do bird hunts. They go do bow hunting. It's really cool. I was like, wow. I'm like, that is the coolest thing. We donated a ton of stuff to them because we're like, they're like, hey, can we get some stuff? I'm like, sure. Like, start loading up all this stuff, all this crap we have laying around. And, so anyway, I was going to say, Tom, real quick, just to make sure we get this in there, but, as you and I had talked about offline, of course, but Michigan and Ohio, and this is a big area for PSE. This is a big opportunity for PSE, the Midwest, and I'm really excited that you're here. You're taking over. Just in talking with you, I feel very positive about where PSE is going to go from here.
Appreciate that,
and not to take anything away from Pete and his family who ran it, because they did a great job getting to where they got. At a certain point, any business becomes hard to run as a family, I'll be honest. And one of the things I hope PSC considers doing is keeping the Shepley concept out there, using him, if you're allowed to, for like imagery. And, because again, historical people that did a lot are super important to try to keep around. We say this a lot for Fred Bear, is for bear archery. They've been keeping Fred Bear in everything they can. And, I think that's a really good idea, because you're keeping some of the historical pieces of the pie and not just, hey, this is all new and that's it, just.
Yeah. I mean, you say PSC and you just revert back to Pete, right? And that's exactly he did such a fantastic job building a brand to this level, right? Yeah. So I'll never disregard what built a company, because that took a ton of effort. It took a ton of time. It took a ton of, personal investment to do that. And what PETA was able to do in the industry overall is absolutely, he helped shape this industry. It's silly to think that we're going to be completely different, because we're not, right? We want to take and carry that torch on to where his name's still synonymous with it, and that we're moving forward with it, that, hey, you built something, we're going to just keep it going. And we want people to understand that. That's why I don't want, when you ask me the question, well, how do I envision PSE, right? It's about reestablishing the brand. It really is. It's about getting that brand above how they started and how they built it, and get it back to that level.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think, like I said, that feeling I had when PSE saved my hunting career is the feeling that I think a lot of people need to feel. And like, if you can get that feeling, because to be honest with you, like, that the funny part is that was in 2009, and in 2009 we started this, and if I had not started this, is my point, I would have probably bought another PSE, is what I'm getting to. If I never had started this, I would have finished with that PSE and bought another one, because I would have then put my trust into that brand realistically for what it did.
We know a lot of what I call PSE guys, and it's PSE only.
Yeah, they've always stuck with the brand. For years, and
live and die by it.
Yes, and I think that's like I said, the sky's the limit here. This is the advantage you guys are in right now. Is once you start to offer these bows and get them in the shops here if you can, and you get maybe a couple more aluminums going. Like, I think it's going to be a very big thing for PSE, especially if you can, like you said, reassess everything, you know, new relationships, you know, meet people, get out. You mentioned coming here, going there. You know, I said, you come to Michigan, you can come here, then I'll take you. We can go to all the pro shops together. We can drive around the state. It'll be fun. I'll take a day off.
That'd be great.
Those are the shops that you need to go to. You know, I could definitely show you the exact ones you need to go to, because some carry PSE, some don't. And I think, again, just getting there and having a conversation with these people is super important, especially the owners of these shops, and, you know, just getting them to be able to get a chance to talk to you and know you and see what you're all about, you know.
And that's what I really want to do, is rebuild confidence in the brand and in me, right? So, you know, people are just not like, oh, they just got some business guy that's going to come. I'm not, right? I'm an outdoorsman. This is everything to me right now. I would give my heart and soul to this business because I love it so much, right? There's not too many people that are as lucky as I am to be able to be given this opportunity. So I want people to understand, you know, my whole passion around this is for the product. It's for the industry. It's for this team here. And I owe this team every ounce of effort I have to make sure that this business is successful and that our shooters feel that as well. There's that passion that I want everybody else to experience, and that's that outdoor passion. And, you know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me that's like, hey, I'm in this career. How do I get into the outdoor industry? And I'm like, get lucky like me, you know, but give them some guidance a little bit.
I mean, I'm going to honestly stop ignoring those recruiting messages. To be quite honest.
It's pretty crazy. It's just timing of everything.
I'm like, delete.
delete. They all get deleted now, trust me. But yeah, I've had, you know, one of the things that we were not doing well in the past couple of years, we'd have great product, but our dealers and our end users would have to wait, you know, months to get it because we just were not effective and efficient at the site. We've already changed that to where, you know, our standard lead time is about 3 weeks. What I've put as an edict to everybody here is that we don't go over 5 weeks, right? We're going to do everything we possibly can to keep that lead time, because I want to work with the dealers to where, hey, if you need our product, we're going to have it for you. We want to help you get turns. We want to help you manage your business as well. My whole job is to help them make money, right? And it's to give them a product they know is going to turn. And if it's a product that's just sitting there, then I need to work on how do I get that to turn. And if they're getting turns out of this, then, you know, I'm not forcing them to hold 20 bows that aren't moving. I'm going to provide what they need when they need it. We're a build to order business now. We're not a build to stock. We do have some quick ship stuff, but what we're providing now is we have flexibility to be able to build what people need when they need it. And that's what we're going to keep it as.
That's pretty cool. I think, you know, like I said, I think the biggest things are, in my opinion, at least, is just, you know, that's obviously a very big part of it. I would suggest another part of it that's not talked about, that's kind of behind the scenes, is just communication. Honestly, it's literally as simple as communication. And that also means a lot of marketing stuff, of course, because I know that part of it a lot. But like, when the biggest thing I think is just, you know, because you said it, you brought it up, you know, people, how do I get into this, or how do I think the biggest thing is, if the answer is no, the answer is no. Right. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, somebody's like, hey, I want to hunt for you guys. You know, I'm sorry, you know, fill this out. Maybe if there's something that comes up, cool. If not, you know, we don't have anything. The worst thing I think I've seen is just no communication. That's like usually, I try to tell the companies this all the time. And I hear this because I hear it because we work with all the brands. I hear it a lot from hunting shows, all sorts of people. And the thing is, there's no need for it if they just tell them no. It's just like simple. I don't know. You know, it's like, man, but yeah, like you said, re-engaging, getting people back on board, getting people to understand what the brand can do and where it's going. That's always a big thing as well, especially for the pro shops, right? They want to make sure that what you're doing is going to work in their mind, that they can sell the bow, right? To them, they don't want to take a hit, and, you know. So
it's creating a product that drives demand into their store. If we can build a product where the end user is like, I have to have that, it's really easy for the dealer at that point. It's more, how do I get more of it? when, we rely on the dealers a lot to say, hey, try this or try that, right? And that's what they're great for. If someone's new and they're like, what should I use? They distribute what they have. But I really want to be able to build this brand to where people are like, hey, I want a PSE. What do you have? Right? And it's very simple, and it turns their inventory. It creates that continuous brand loyalty, that return of someone that's buying our product. But you got to build the right product for that, and you got to market it, right? You got to show that is the best that's out there. All the brands are great. I'm not going to bag on any one of them. They're all great products. They'll all get the job done to some extent. We have to be able to differentiate why should someone choose a PSE over a different product. And that's fully, we're seeing ourselves more as a technical company, right? An engineering company that'll provide the system to help you be successful in your endeavor. And that's what we're going to live by. It's the system. It's not just, here's a bow, go try to shoot it, right? And if you do everything perfect, it's still not accurate. We want to give you the system, take that out of the equation to where all you got to work on is your form.
Yep. Yeah,
which I've been working very hard on mine. I'm being taught by some of the best shooters around.
Oh, I'm sure you are. So thanks for joining us, Tom. I do want to say one last thing I want to say is just that I don't think this is going to be easy for you. I think it is going to be a challenge. I think going through this is going to be a lot of work. If boots on the ground isn't easy because you have to travel a lot, there's a lot going on. But I want to say I think you're the perfect person for this. I think that you are what PSE needed in this moment. This is a big deal. Yep. And I think going forward, I think we're going to see a lot of great things out of PSE. I'm super excited for you guys, the brand. And again, we're here to help. Whatever you ever need, you just let us know. We'll get it done because, again, we want to support where we can. I think it's very important to push and help the industry wherever we can. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys do. Any help I can be for you guys as well, right? Don't hesitate to reach out because that's absolutely creating the partnership with everybody in this industry is just going to help it grow. So whatever I can do for you guys, please let me know. And I really appreciate the time that you guys have spent with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.